Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I am Deepika, and coming up in the next 30 minutes. Prime Minister Narendra Modi highlights India's role in preserving and promoting legacy of Buddhism, participates in the celebration of International Abhidhamma Divas. India hits back after Trudeau admits Canada had no hard evidentiary proof linking India to Niger killing, says Prime Minister Trudeau solely responsible for damage to India-Canada relations. In Nigeria, fuel tanker explodes, killing at least 150 people. And in sports, India takes on New Zealand on second day of first test match. Virat Kohli sets another record, surpassing MS Dhoni to become India's second most capped player across formats. Prime Minister Narendra Modi participated in the International Abhidhamma Divas program and the recognition emphasized on the recognition of Pali as a classical language in the national capital. Abhidhamma Divas commemorates the descent of Lord Buddha from the celestial realm after teaching Abhidhamma. The recent recognition of Pali as a classical language, along with 4 other languages, enhances the significance of this year's celebrations, as Lord Buddha's teachings on Abhidhamma are originally available in Pali language. Addressing the International Abhidhamma Divas program, Prime Minister Narendra Modi highlighted the role of language in preserving culture and emphasized the responsibility of keeping Pali and Lord Buddha's teachings alive.
हर भाषा से उसके मूल भाव जुड़े होते हैं। इसलिए भगवान बुद्ध की वाणी को उसके मूल भाव के साथ जीवंत रखने के लिए पाली को जीवंत रखना ये हम सबकी जिम्मेदारी है। मुझे खुशी है कि हमारी सरकार ने बड़ी नम्रतापूर्वक ये जिम्मेदारी निभाई है।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi said invaders sought to erase India's identity, and after independence, people succumbed to a slave mentality. An ecosystem had taken hold in India that worked to push us in the wrong direction.
आजादी के पहले भारत की पहचान मिटाने में लगे आक्रमणकारी और आजादी के बाद गुलामी की मानसिकता के शिकार लोग भारत में एक ऐसे इकोसिस्टम का कब्जा हो गया था जिसने हमें उल्टी दिशा में धकेलने के लिए काम किया। जो बुद्ध भारत की आत्मा में बसे हैं, आजादी के समय बुद्ध के जिन प्रतीकों को भारत के प्रतीक चिन्हों के तौर पर अंगीकार किया गया, बाद के दशकों में उन्हीं बुद्ध को भूलते चले गए। पाली भाषा को सही स्थान मिलने में 7 दशक ऐसे ही नहीं लगे। लेकिन साथियों, देश अब उस हीन भावना से मुक्त होकर आत्मसम्मान, आत्मविश्वास, आत्मगौरव के साथ आगे बढ़ रहा है।
Moving on, in a massive embarrassment for Canada, the country's Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, in the early hours of Thursday morning, acknowledged before a commission of inquiry that he had not provided India with concrete proof regarding the killing of Khalistani terrorist Hardeep Singh Nijjar on Canadian soil. Responding to which, the India's Ministry of External Affairs said, and I quote, "What we have heard today only confirms what we've been saying consistently all along. Canada has presented us no evidence whatsoever in support of the serious allegations that it has chosen to level against India and the Indian diplomats. The responsibility for the damage that this cavalier behavior has caused to India-Canada relations lies with Prime Minister Trudeau alone," unquote. India's President Draupadi Murmu is visiting Malawi today in the last leg of a three-nation visit. During her stay, the President is scheduled to hold bilateral meetings with the state heads and will also interact with key trade and industry leaders along with the Indian diaspora. The President will also visit places of cultural and historical significance. The visit to three African nations by the Indian President comes a year after the African Union was made a permanent member of G20 group during India's presidency. The President's visit will conclude on the 19th of October. Now, during her three-day stay in Malawi, President Draupadi Murmu will also pay her respects at Sri Radhakrishna Temple in the capital. This temple has been a prominent center of religion, cultural and social activities for the Indian community. The temple showcases mini India.
We have many years of relationship between India and Malawi, and by this visit it will cement more heavily that these two countries come together, and we are always grateful to India for the support and donations and grants given to us for the local people.
Malawi is a warm heart of Africa, and India is in our heart.
So we are so excited to see our President of India here in Malawi. So we hope that we will have more business relations happen India between Malawi.
We have more than 900 community members in Lilongwe, and we celebrate each and every religious function in Lilongwe. And we feel very proud about Lilongwe city because all the community works in together.
We are also very thankful to the Malawi government. Having settled here in Malawi, they allowed us to carry on with our culture, which we've managed to do. And so they kept that environment free and for everyone to practice what we want.
I've been in Malawi past 22 years. We are very happy to have our president, and it is definitely going to boost up our friendship relations between India and Malawi.
Earlier, President Draupadi Murmu successfully concluded her Mauritania visit, highlighting the potential for India-Mauritania cooperation, during which she held bilateral talks with her counterpart and other leaders. Two sides also exchanged several agreements with an aim to boost further ties.
India's President Draupadi Murmu successfully concluded her Mauritania visit, a second leg of her three African nation visit. This was the first ever visit by an Indian president to the northwestern African nation. On her arrival at Nouakchott-Oumtounsy International Airport, President Draupadi Murmu was received and greeted by President of the Islamic Republic of Mauritania, Mohamed Ould Ghazouani, and was accorded a ceremonial welcome. Later in the day, President met her counterpart Ghazni at the Presidential Palace for bilateral talks. President also attended a delegation-level meeting followed by exchange of 4 MOUs. Agreement to promote bilateral relations in various fields of common interest. MOU to facilitate cooperation in mutually beneficial areas of activity. Agreement for exemption of visa requirements for diplomatic and official service passport holders. Agreement to promote cultural exchange programs. Earlier on Wednesday, President Murmu also interacted with Indian diaspora at a community event where she emphasized on India's goal of becoming a development nation by 2047 and also acknowledged the crucial role of Indian diaspora in achieving this vision.
हम वर्ष 2047 तक भारत को एक विकसित भारत बनाने के अपने लक्ष्यों की ओर तेजी से बढ़ रहे हैं और हमारा प्रवासी परिवार इस प्रक्रिया में एक बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण कारक है.
Later, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Cooperation and Mauritanians Abroad of Mauritania, Mohamed Salim Ould Marzouk, called on President Murmu. Mauritania has immense natural resources that are important for India's growing industry. Bureau Report, DD India.
The Government of India has set an ambitious target of reaching 20% blending in petrol by the year 2025. It was highlighted at the two-day International Methanol Seminar and Expo 2024 being held in collaboration with USA's Methanol Institute at the Manekshaw Center in New Delhi. This event also highlighted the progress of projects, products and research and development initiatives related to methanol production, application and allied technological developments in the world. While inaugurating the seminar, Union Minister Nitin Gadkari said that the research around blending 15% ethanol in diesel is in advanced stages and the government is exploring ways to prioritize it based on sound evidence.
We need to find out the policy that is import substitute, cost effective, pollution free and indigenous. And this industry is going to increase the employment potential and the growth. I'm giving you the example about the ethanol. The last year, the rate of corn was 1200 rupees and MSP was 1800. But when we encourage ethanol making from corn, in Bihar and everywhere, the rate going up to 2600, that is per quintal. And that is the reason because the ethanol factory, they use corn as a fuel, as a raw material for ethanol.
Naib Singh Saini will be sworn in as the Chief Minister of the non-Indian state of Haryana on Thursday. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, India's Home Minister Amit Shah and party's top leadership will be the members, among others, at the oath-taking ceremony, which is scheduled to begin today. Naib Singh Saini staked claim to form the next government after he was unanimously elected as the leader of the BJP legislature party on Wednesday. Elaborate security arrangements are in place at Panchkula. In the 5th of October Haryana polls, the BJP secured an unprecedented third term across the state, winning 48 seats in the 90-member assembly. India's Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman arrived in Mexico on Thursday on her official maiden visit to the North American country. To deepen the bilateral relations between India and Mexico, Union Finance Minister will engage with political and business leaders from different sectors in Guadalajara and Mexico City. The focus will be to bolster collaboration in trade, investment, technology, innovation and DPI. In a landmark decision, the Supreme Court upheld the constitutional validity of Section 6A of the Citizenship Act, ensuring that immigrants who entered Assam from Bangladesh between the 1st of January 1966 and 25th of March 1971 retain their Indian citizenship. By a ratio of 4:1 majority, Chief Justice D.Y. Chandrachud, along with Justices Surya Kant, M.M. Sundaresh and Manoj Misra, affirmed the ruling, while Justice J.B. Pardiwala dissented. The ruling reaffirms provisions of the historic Assam Accord of 1985, signed in response to the massive influx of migrants following the 1971 Bangladesh Liberation War. Time to take a short break, but still to come on the other side. European Union leaders to begin two-day meetings in Brussels. Ukraine and West Asia conflict atop the agenda. Tensions simmer between China and Japan after repeated altercations with the Philippines over disputed waters in the South China Sea. Welcome back after that short break. You're watching DD India Live with me, Deepika. Now, the US military has struck Houthi weapon storage facilities within Houthi-controlled areas of Yemen. A US defense official said that US Central Command forces conducted multiple airstrikes on numerous Iran-backed Houthi weapon storage facilities within Houthi-controlled areas of Yemen. B-2 Spirit long-range stealth bombers were a part of the operation. The defense official said the weapons were used to target military and civilian vessels navigating international waters throughout the Red Sea and the Gulf of Aden. A day after US demanded Israel to improve humanitarian conditions in Gaza or risk military aid in a letter that got leaked, US Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin spoke to Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant. The two leaders discussed Israel's operations in Lebanon and the humanitarian situation in Gaza. Austin and Gallant also discussed an advanced US anti-missile system that Washington has deployed to bolster Israel's air defense. Member of the United Nations Security Council met on Wednesday to discuss the humanitarian crisis in Gaza, and every member called on Israel to consistently allow aid into northern Gaza. Diplomats agreed that the lack of sufficient aid into Gaza needed to be addressed urgently. US Ambassador to the UN, Linda Thomas-Greenfield, told its ally, Israel, it must take steps in the next month to improve the humanitarian situation in Gaza or face potential restrictions on US military aid. Now, Syria is facing an influx of people fleeing the escalating conflict in Lebanon. An estimated 260,000 people have crossed into Syria from Lebanon so far. The United Nations World Food Programme has expressed deep concerns about the worsening food security situation. Over half of the Syrian population is already facing food insecurity, within approximately 3 million people in the grip of severe hunger conditions. The United Nations projects that the number of newly displaced people requiring assistance in Syria could reach up to 500,000. To meet this demand, World Food Programme urgently requires $54.4 million to cover 6 months of emergency assistance. European Union leaders are meeting in Brussels on the 17th and the 18th of October to discuss Ukraine, the crisis in the West Asia, migration, and efforts to boost European Union's competitiveness. European Union leaders will be discussing Russia-Ukraine conflict, including developments on the front line and continued comprehensive support for Ukraine. Discussion on the progress on the use of extraordinary revenue from Russia's frozen assets to benefit Ukraine is also on the agenda. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky will be presenting his victory plan for resolving the war with Russia at the summit of European Union leaders in Brussels on Thursday. Zelensky unveiled the much-anticipated plan in Ukraine's parliament on Wednesday as Moscow's forces advance in the east and the bleak winter of power cut looms. He informed the lawmakers that the plan contained 5 main points that were in the hands of the allies, including an unconditional invite to join NATO and weapons support. In return, he offered a Western role in developing Ukraine's natural mineral resources and said Ukrainian troops could enhance the security of NATO and replace some of the US forces in Europe. A fuel tanker explosion in northern Nigeria has killed around 150 people. The blast that happened on Tuesday in Mahia occurred after the vehicle crashed and while locals were attempting to retrieve the fuel. Jigawa police spokesperson said the driver lost control and the tanker somersaulted and spilled fuel into a drainage ditch that caused the explosion. The accident is one of the worst in recent times in Africa's most populous nation, battling with widespread security threats and a cost of living crisis. Now, after repeated altercations with the Philippines over disputed waters in the South China Sea, now tension seems to escalate between China and Japan. China's Coast Guard said a Japanese fishing vessel illegally entered China's territorial waters around Diaoyu Islands on the 15th and the 16th of October and was warned to leave. Japan rejected China's claims to the islands, and over the past few months, the two countries have now had a number of confrontations in that particular area. European Union state Italy has started diverting asylum seekers abroad, with the ship carrying the first group to be processed in Albania arriving at the port of Shëngjin on Wednesday. Under the deal struck between the two countries, Italy has built 2 reception centers in Albania. The aim is to deter irregular arrivals to Italy, but the deal has been criticized by right groups who say it restricts migrants' right to asylum. Rising tension in Europe over migration issues has seen many nations, including Germany and Poland, propose or adopt tougher policies. The UK's previous government had planned to deport asylum seekers to Rwanda, although Prime Minister Keir Starmer scrapped the plan after taking office in July. Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni said this week that her country was setting an example for the rest of Europe with the Albanian scheme. The 29th Macau International Trade and Investment Fair and the Macau Franchisee Expo kicks off on Wednesday at Venetian Macau in Kuchai. The 4-day event celebrates the 75th anniversary of the People's Republic of China and the 25th anniversary of Macau's return to the motherland. Themed economic diversification and development opportunities and brands gathering with business opportunities, the event featured 4 exhibition halls attracting over 1,300 exhibitors. The event also showcased cutting-edge technologies, including bionic robots, low-altitude economy tech products, a master sky shot, drone photography system, and a drone demonstration area. You're watching DD India Live, and now it's time to get you all the latest from the world of sports. Right now, the India versus New Zealand match is going on, and the Indian skipper Rohit Sharma won the toss and opted to bat against New Zealand on day 2 of the first test in Bengaluru. Now, India have named Sarfaraz Khan and leg spinner Kuldeep Yadav in their playing 11. The pair has replaced Shubman Gill, who's been rested due to a stiff neck, and fast bowler Akashdeep. With this match, Virat Kohli also set yet another record as he surpassed MS Dhoni to become India's second most capped player across formats. If we talk about the score, at lunch, the score was 34 for a loss of 6 wickets, with Rishabh Pant being the only batsman at the crease looking forward to steer the team out of the tough situation. Staying on cricket, the International Cricket Council has inducted 3 cricketing legends, Alastair Cook, Neetu David and Abhidhamma, into the Hall of Fame as part of class of 2024. Alastair Cook, England's highest run scorer and century maker in test matches, is recognised for his pivotal role in team success during his career that spanned over 250 appearances. Neetu David, India's left-arm spinner, made history as the first Indian woman to take 100 wickets in ODIs. Her remarkable performance during the 2005 ICC Women's Cricket World Cup was crucial in helping India reach its first final. AB de Villiers, known for his innovative batting, scored over 20,000 international runs in a 14-year career. He holds numerous records for the fastest 50s, 100s and 150s in ODIs. These inductees will be honoured in Dubai this week alongside the conclusion of the ICC Women's T20 Cricket World Cup. On to soccer now. Alessia Russo capped off a solid 4-1 victory for Arsenal against Vålerenga in the Women's Champions League, marking their first game since Jonas Eidevall resigned as the manager. Following a tough 3-game winless streak, Eidevall stepped down on Tuesday, with interim coach Rini Sledgers taking the charge. Sledgers saw her team start brightly, with Emily Fox scoring within 2 minutes. Caitlin Ford then doubled the lead, but defensive errors allowed Vålerenga to pull one back before half-time. Despite the minor setback, Mariana Caldente's late strike and Russo's stoppage time goal sealed a convincing victory. And Mary Fowler's late goal secured Manchester City a hard-fought 3-2 victory against Austrian side St. Pölten in Women's Champions League. City, coming off an impressive victory against Barcelona, took an early lead with Alana Kennedy's stunning 25-yard strike. Despite creating several chances, City allowed St. Pölten back into the game. Melanie Brantela equalized just before half-time, and Kamila Dubkova put the Austrians ahead early in the second half. Aoba Fujino quickly responded with her first goal for City, and Fowler's decisive late header sealed the victory, keeping City unbeaten in Group D. Moving on, thousands of tourists are flocking to Thailand's northeastern Nakhon Phanom province for the annual Illuminated Boat Procession Festival, a centuries-old Buddhist tradition marking the end of the rainy season retreat. And that's all for this edition of DD India Live. But do let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code on the screen to download it right now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I am Deepika, and from all of us here in New Delhi, thank you so much for watching DD India Live.